Say it again. No, guys, that's not Ray. He's not having a moment there. I don't even want to go there. He's like the old, what they used to call it, the old thing funk, the what?
That's that James Brown.
The James Brown.
I felt that.
Get him with it.
How was that concert back in the day, though?
Damn.
Just kidding.
Wow.
Man.
Right out there.
And it is Friday. Welcome back.
I mean, just right.
Man.
Just
No, actually, no. Not out the gate, but were there gates back then? Okay. No, I'm just kidding, man. It's welcome back, man. It's Friday, so I guess you guys wonder we're not having we don't actually have a review today, but it's good to see you guys and actually be back. Dang, 2 shows in, huh?
Back and better than ever.
Yeah, we're back. We'll see if we're better. I don't know if we're rusty. I don't know. I'm a little rusty.
It's a little rust. It's a
it's
little
a little rust
Like
because
riding a bike, though.
I haven't hit the Friday.
Yeah, you haven't. Yeah, you are rusted.
Definitely a little rusty.
Yeah, I'm gonna get you some lemon water, some hot lemon tea, some tea with lemon in it. There you go.
There we go.
That's what works with the vocalist.
You know, I felt that.
There you go.
There you go, bro. That was James Brown-ish. That was James Brownish for real.
Better. Okay.
I was like
You channeling him right now.
89.
I'm feeling that.
81 James Brown-ish. When he's 81. When he's 81. That's when they had him on ice for a few days. Damn. I'm kidding. Yo, can you believe they had that dude's body like 3 months on ice or something when they were fighting over his estate?
No, I did not know that.
Yeah, man. James Brown was frozen for a long
Why
time
they had him on ice for like?
because their family was fighting over his estate, man.
So what does it got to do with his estate?
Because your family controls the rights of your body. So yeah, man. Hey, it's good to have a will because if you don't, somebody will literally control.
Trust.
Yep, will trust and control how you want to go. I mean, if you want to be cremated, or you want to be on ice, or you want to or you want to be used as a science project, man. You donate your body to science. Hey, anyone that's next to kin can control how you end
How
up.
you want your body to be taken care of?
Well, how they want your body to be taken care of. Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty morbid.
That's a real bleak.
Hey, I was just saying he brought that up. He brought James Brown. Who brought James Brown? I just brought some knowledge to you.
Channeling James.
Yeah, I was just trying to tell you that. But the man was on ice. I was just trying to give you some fact. The dude was on ice for months. I watched the film because Chadwick, he did a good job on that. You guys ever seen Feel It? Was it Funk? What was it called?
I didn't really like it that much.
You didn't? Because you knew the original. Just kidding, man. Just kidding, but it feels good to be back. Why did you like it though? Tell us.
You know what the problem was?
What's that?
Shaq, he was doing too many things. Like he was Jackie Robinson. He was this other, like he played too many different characters. Gosh. I just didn't like that.
So I thought the same thing, but you know what? I did like I thought, oh, this is going to be terrible. No, it was great. Kate and I actually talked about that the other day. We are like, there's this other show right now that just popped on as I don't know what's a black. It's a lot of black actors, and I'm like, oh my god, all they do is recycle the same black actors. All I see is Lauren Chestnut as someone all the time now on TV shows.
You talking about Morris Chestnut?
Chestnut, the guy you look like, yeah. Jeff looked like Lawrence. Was it Morris or Norris? Lauren.
I'm not even going to tell you.
Morris Chestnut. And he like a mixture between that and Denzel from Glory.
From Glory, right?
Oh, my Lord, Lord, Lord.
Denzel from Glory.
Bro, right. That was his breakout. Yo, when he was getting whooped, he was like, yo, the way that dude made that tear come out when he was getting whooped came right out, dude.
I felt that too.
Yo. Come on, sir. Yes, sir.
All he won was some shoes.
Yo, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yo, and Morgan Freeman, his old ass. Morgan Freeman is like, it's like a cruel, he's got like, you know how they say the black don't crack? Morgan Freeman's like, it's like a cruel hoax. Like a vampire got him right in after his prime. Like he was 50 years old and the vampire got him like, ha, you're going to be old forever. Well,
he's old man forever.
He's still 50.
I swear I'm a vampire. And Andy, my friend Andy said,
"You better leave my man."
Bro, yo, was it Redemption? No, Shawshank Redemption.
Oh yeah,
my friend Andy. If I can be with Andy, My good friend. Dude, I'm trying to tell you, the dude's a vampire. We're going to find out one day he's either a vampire or he's God.
You know what? I cannot.
I am God. And Andy is my son.
Reg is in rear. It's a Friday.
Yeah, it is,
It's
right?
It absolutely is Friday. But, yo, how was your week? How you guys' weeks been? Or weeks, because it's been weeks, months.
Same as always, just busy.
Busy.
Life.
Work. No play? Bro, you've been playing at LA Fitness. What are you talking about?
I'm playing with Little Ray, so it's work.
That's work? Why? You got to teach him?
You know, yeah, it's always about training.
Oh, gotcha. Yo, he was like, I at least love when Ray came into LA Fitness because he was like, you always reminded me of Isaiah Thomas because they were like the same height. And you reminded me because like the point guard skill and he had that IQ. So I love playing with you. That's why I was like, when you came in, I was like, this is going to be great. Until Ray's head blew up. And then little Ray turned into MJ.
I
was like,
Isaiah energy.
And then he turned into Jordan. I was like, let me get the last shot, right? He was like, no, I got this. I'm like, what? All I heard was, there's no team and I. What the hell is this man talking about? Turning to Kobe. What? I said, nobody even said it to you. Give me the ball. What?
Is he the one that forced you into retirement?
I had to retire. Yeah. Because I was like, Ray is
enough room on the court for both of you.
Not the egos, man. It was like Shaq and Penny, like Anthony Hardaway. I let him go. I was like, LA, please.
Peace.
I didn't even realize on the LA Fitness. I was like, can I get the LA Fitness? But yeah, it was good. But what about you, Jeff?
Man, same deal here. It's work, it's family, busy projects, a little bit of travel. It's been a good blend.
Travel. Speaking of travel, you said this off the air. Yeah, you didn't mention this before on the Monday. What that we pre-recorded. You guys know how it works here. You traveled recently.
Yeah.
Tell us.
Last weekend, I was actually with your brothers.
My brothers.
Your brothers.
And that's the ER guys, not the AH.
Right.
That's the real brothers.
Real brothers.
Family,
real
brothers. We're with your brothers.
Real brothers.
Yes. We went out to DR, Dominican Republic, for a couple of days.
Nice.
Spent the weekend out there.
Yeah.
We were wined and dined, stayed in a super nice spot.
Nice.
A luxury spot, on-site chef, cooked for us 3 times a day.
So you weren't poisoned like those other tourists were back in the day?
No, man, this was an excellent experience. And if anybody's looking to get away for a little bit, the pricing, both tickets and stay in Punta Cana, it can be a little pricey. But
what you say, Punta what?
Punta Cana.
Punta. Wasn't Punta a bad word? Punta.
No. He's saying Punta, not Puta.
Oh my gosh, Ray! Damn, bro, I didn't know you were Americano. Go ahead, brother. What you saying?
But yeah, no,
Punta Cana.
it's like one of their tourist destinations.
Oh, okay,
and it's really nice. So as far as like feeling safe, they've got a security guard.
Awesome.
And it's like this huge resort complex. Multiple access to beaches. It's really, really good time. It was a fun couple of days.
So y'all was balling, huh? Y'all were balling out.
I mean, we was fake balling.
Yeah, that's
we was faking it till we make it. But
hey, that's how you got to do it. Yeah.
In the moment, no one could tell the difference.
Yo,
he's like, we here, we belong.
But the reason for the trip, was it a vacation? You got to specify what it was for.
It was a bachelor party for your brother.
Oh, and he's getting married. So my brother's getting married on the 30th.
That's right. Shout out,
to Richard.
Congratulations on this next
and
step,
Miranda.
So you didn't go to your brother's bachelor party?
No, man.
You weren't invited?
I wasn't invited.
I
wasn't invited, man. No, we had other pressing issues, like I told you guys before. My brother-in-law passed away.
That's right.
So that was that hit deep, man. Still recovering from that, and just a lesson to you guys, man. Love. Just pick up the phone, tell the person you are quarreling with, that you're arguing with, you love them, even if you guys hate each other, send them a text. There's so many ways to communicate with people these days. I feel that there's no excuse not to avoid them. You know what I mean? You can send something and leave that. Let that be their regret they didn't respond to your text. But don't let that be your regret you didn't send a text. You know what I mean?
You know, it's funny you say that. Did any of you guys see? This was just in passing. I was on IG,
Yeah.
and I guess I saw a little interview with Mike Tyson where he was talking to. For the life of me, I'm not remembering who it was, but he was basically asking him, okay, well, what happens when you're over someone, like, you kind of get into a spat, or maybe they do you wrong.
Yeah.
And the dude was like, yo, I check out, like, I'm good, I'm done. And Mike had a really interesting take on it. He was just like, you know what, that person is not your master. He's like, what does that mean? Like, how can he be my master? I'm done with him. I cut him off. He's like, that person forced you to alter your behavior. They control you. They are your master because you changed how you normally would move because of that person.
Wow.
I was like, wow, that's
deep.
That's
right?
Mike Tyson.
That's what I
Bro,
said.
he's more wise than you think, man.
It's
'cause
crazy. His stuff recently, man. Like,
Hey, he has that that weed factory.
Well,
yeah, he does have that, but I think he's been stereotyped so long. We just picture him just being this, lack of a better term,
Mike,
dumb jock or something. But he even was a Muslim. He's a Muslim.
So Mike is one of, like the theme, and then we've covered this quite a bit. Since
Okay.
we started doing this, is just growth, right? Like,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Mike of back in the day, where his mind was at and what was his focus has, definitely changed. And I think as one part, just, the humbling of where his career was versus where it went. And then just natural growth. And man, it's really good to see him in, like this new light. And it's maybe not a new light for the people closest to him, but you're right. Like it's stepping outside of that stereotype, like that vision we have of who he was versus who he is.
And you've seen the cameos. Like the cameos, I think the thing with him that made him have a comeback was The Hangover, right?
That was one of them.
That's basically what put him back on the comeback trail, and then he had his stand up. He did a stand up where that was really good and funny.
It wasn't about his life.
Yes, that was hilarious. I couldn't believe he was up at he sweated like a mofo, but he was great.
And what was even better about
that?
Was not only the stand up, but when you got to see behind the scenes on like the toll it takes on him and all the things that go into like getting him to where he needs to be, and how just the normal everyday struggles of someone, like you just, for me, it just helped me connect on a whole nother level. But you're right, that stand up was huge.
I watched an interview with him about talking about boxing, about the history of other boxers from the past. And his knowledge was better than anyone I've ever seen as far as the history of like the old time boxers.
It has to be,
like he knew them like he was looking at like listening to Google.
Yeah.
Like he knew everything.
But because
about them,
you got to study. Yeah. You got to study the great, bro.
I mean, he did. I mean, he knew them just like their movements, how they saw other opponents. I mean, he knew the history of them.
The super impressive thing about that stand up was not only the real life stories that he told that help you relate, but even when you got to see the behind the scenes stuff on like his connection with, I believe, his wife at the time, which I think they're still married, right?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
But like the prep and stuff that it took to kind of get him ready to go out there and do the show. And then you hear for him how, that wasn't easy either. Like it really helped identify. It helped me like really identify like, wow, like this is just a normal everyday dude. Yeah, he's Iron Mike and he can knock any one of us out, but like he goes through some of the same mental progression and fears and issues that any one of us would go through, and it just made it super relatable. Like I really enjoyed that stand up.
Yeah, he was vulnerable.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the main thing. He was vulnerable. He was out of his natural element where he's not in the ring ready to, as he said in the interview before, he said, "I'll eat your children."
Right.
Craziness. It was just him.
Yeah.
Being open, sharing stuff that he usually doesn't share on a normal basis, and it was good to see him doing that.
I think we're attracted to that. Like you just said, I think we're attracted to vulnerability. I think that's becoming more attractive. I think maybe that's the new norm with social media being so vulnerable, showing our true sides, that people are like, I can relate to that. Oh, remember they said mental health was always pushed in the back, even for law enforcement or whatever. When they dealt with it, they would pick up alcohol or whatever and deal with it. But now they put that to the forefront as far as, hey, mental health is important and it's an actual thing. So people expressing that, like, oh, I can relate to that person. Like Jeff was just saying, I can relate that, Mike Tyson has anxiety. He has this or whatever, and he needs he's a normal person. Yeah. Like he doesn't wake up and says, I have this confidence. No, I have so much fears. I have so much anxiety. I have so much things that I have to deal with on top of being who I'm supposed to be, as top of being the heavyweight champion of the world when I was.
Yeah.
So it's the relatability, it's the vulnerability that we can see in that. Now we can. So there's a beauty to social media, and there's a darkness to social media. The beauty is we can identify, we can relate to these people now. Like, oh shoot, these people, they face what we have. Okay, yeah, they don't have. So not all of them have silver spoons, or if they had a silver spoon, they still have problems.
Or you can look at it as far as we saw them as superheroes, but then you see that they're human just like us.
Absolutely, and if they can overcome their fears, their anxiety, and stuff, we can also do it as well.
Right.
Or if they're dealing with lows and struggles and troubles, then you know what, we're not alone. Like, you know what, listen, this guy has a social profile and a physique that could take out, 60% of the people.
Exactly.
And he's dealing with some of the same stuff I'm dealing with. You know what, there's support in that,
Right.
Absolutely. And speaking of, that brings us to the next topic is mental health. So, dealing with the whole Gabby Petito, hope I'm pronouncing your name right. What do you guys think about this whole? Because this has to do with social media. This has to do. I mean, that's why that's who all is getting involved. That's why it's also getting so much publicity is because of social media. Because she was a presence online, and she was going to document her journey with her boyfriend or fiance. Well, we're figuring out that the relationship was no longer. From what I've heard, it was to like salvage the relationship, but the engagement was off. But anyway, so
they were having issues that we didn't know about until now.
So
but isn't that how most relationships are? Kind of like, with social media, you make things look perfect because
absolutely,
and plus she had a brand as well. She had a brand where she was selling the look of vacations, traveling, living a good life. It probably would not have been great to have the garbage put up front. But at the same time, the question is, why was Gabby's story so important? It's a combination of her following, number one.
Yeah.
Number two, I mean, she was a cute Caucasian girl.
Okay.
And people like sad stories. I mean, people like drama. They do. Now, there are other stories out there where people are missing or haven't been heard from that get no attention. The reason why, I mean, I don't know if that's for me to answer, but we all have our opinions on why. And I just want to say that for me personally, I think it's more of a color thing, to be honest.
Okay. Well, I can see that. I can definitely see that, and I agree with that.
And I want to say, her situation is sad. Of course, I don't wish it upon anyone at all, not at all. But there are so many people of color who are not even mentioned when they go missing at all, or even they don't get the same kind of support. The outcry, the help. I mean, they got the FBI involved.
Yeah. Well, I think the FBI involved because it crossed state lines, too. I think, that's the protocol for it. You want to say?
So, first and foremost, my heart goes out to her family. As a father, as a sibling, I can't even begin to imagine what they're going through, like just the pain, the uncertainty, the questions. So, I'm sending good energy and prayers, and I'm hoping that, they can find some level of peace as they deal with this ordeal, because it feels like we're just getting into the nitty-gritty of this situation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That said, I don't believe that her family should at all feel some kind of way because people are looking at the type of publicity it's getting. If it was my child, I'd want it screamed from the mountaintops. Matter of fact, I'd want you know, my child's picture on the space station if I could get it on there, because I want everybody to
SpaceX.
be out there looking. Yes, send it up with Elon's rocket, please. Funny. I want the world to see it. That said, I think taking the approach of, oh, well, you know what, it kind of got the publicity it did because she had followers. I think that's something we say to, you know, maybe make ourselves feel better. The truth is, if you just look through history when it comes to missing individuals, historically speaking, you know, who tends to get a national APB put out versus who doesn't, I think the numbers will show otherwise. So, you know, you could take that and move it and do what you want with it. But if we're just operating off of facts and history and, you know, even situations that's going on right now, of people that, you know, have been on social media platforms, you know, begging and pleading for some help for their missing children, and it didn't even get a fraction of, you know, the publicity that this situation did. It's a shame. I know we can't do it for everyone. I just wish that we saw a better mix of how that urgency and how those resources get applied. And, you know, it just doesn't feel like that's what's happening right now.
But speaking of, you touched on a great point right there. Speaking of, as far as social media has now put that capability, that power into the people's hands now. So it's because a lot of attention of things that have happened. Speaking of, you know, last year or what, the George Floyd.
I'm not talking social media. I'm talking about main media.
Oh no, main media has been the gatekeepers. No, has been the gatekeepers. But social media is now becoming, getting more notice, more notoriety, more credibility than it used to, because a lot of these media, main media outlets are actually using the social media, what they bring to light, especially with this Gabby thing. They brought some things to light, and you see the main media start covering what a TikToker says about the case or brings up something about it. Like you had someone saying, someone created a fake account for Gabby, saying, "Oh, I'm fine. I'm whatever. I just needed a break. I'm so and so forth. Please stay off the Laundrie thing. You know, their family. You know, let them rest." And then someone, you know, a TikToker came and she was like, "Yo, what is this?" And she was like, you know, she did her research. She was like, "This sounds to me like, you know, it's either someone that knows the family or it is the family, because to me, I'm a mom." And she was like, you know, as a mom, I would do anything for my kid and say so and so forth, so to take the energy off. So they found out. She did a research. She did some crap, but she like missing, forgotten password. And then she saw that they had an email that had Gabby, and they put the birth date, you know, the year, a Gmail. And then she did some other research, and the phone number goes to the phone number. Then the last letters of the phone number is 57. And she did some phone checkup thing. I mean, this is the world we live in, where these people are just tech savvy. And then she looked, you know, the numbers for the Lowrys. And sure enough, the mom ending in 57. Not saying it's her, but the number ended in 57 that she had associated with the Instagram account.
So you're saying that a TikToker did all this?
A TikToker did all this. But I'm just saying, because they watch the catfish shows and stuff, and they give them all these they have all these resources now so you're not catfished.
That sounds a little.
I'm about to say the other thing too is, keep in mind, social media is also, it's at the core, clickbait. It's
absolutely.
It's much like our main media. What can I say or do to get someone to click on my page or take a look at my post or like my post or follow me?
Yeah.
So, you know, I have limited faith in our main media, and I have even less faith in standard social media, because there's too many people on there that are opportunistic, just looking for a way to draw you in, you know, whether it be, and if you take a look at it, it's true, whether we're talking politics, religion, health. There's so much craziness out there. It's really hard to distinguish fact from fiction, and a lot of it is just about trying to draw you in. So, I mean, that may very well be true, but I approach that with a grain of salt.
Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of stuff is attention grabbing, or who can go viral next. Absolutely opportunist, like you're saying. But like you said, some of them are good.
I suspect if that's the truth, we're gonna find it as we get more details on what's gonna transpire with this investigation. That's gonna probably
from what I've seen as far as the family's action, it doesn't seem far fetched. I mean, the guy. So let's say, for instance,
action is not an action.
No, but I'm saying as far as so the family. So the guy comes home. He's there for 10 days. He comes home from this trip that he went, a 3-month or so trip with his supposed fiance at the time, right? It's her van. He comes home with her van, right?
Very fishy.
Very fishy, right? Mm-hmm. And they live with you.
Now it's her van, but wasn't it in front of him, and wasn't he the one working on it for weeks?
What do you mean in front of him working on for weeks?
Like when the van was purchased, I thought I read where one of the neighbors said that they had seen the van outside for multiple days and him out there like working on it, customizing it.
Oh, probably, but they live together. They live together in his parents' house. So
see, I didn't know they lived together.
Yeah, they live together. So he came home without her
after the trip.
Pulled in.
That they went to together.
Exactly. Came home without her.
Right.
Weird. And came with her phone. I mean,
yeah, it was.
It would have sparked a conversation like, hey, like so let's put it in perspective. You guys are two parents, and I'll ask what you guys would do. You're living
son-in-law.
We'll say that because this would be more relatable. Comes home and your daughter's missing.
Hey, bro, where my girl at?
Well, I mean, what are you gonna do? You're gonna be like, oh, if he says, oh well, she would need some time. You left. Your daughter has mental issues. She has abandonment issues. She's had it all her life.
But it's different though because you're asking it from the standpoint of the missing person and us being the parent.
Okay, well then you be the son. Okay, then that'd be your child, your son. The kid be your son. You're not. What are you gonna do? She comes without Gabby.
So I would ask. I'm like, yo, where's Gabby at? What's going on? Oh well, we got into a fight, and you know what? She pissed me off, and you know what? I left her. She's making her own way back home. Like what are you talking about, dude? What do you mean you left her somewhere? Okay. Again, I don't know the details. I don't know what he told them. But for me, I would leave it at that depending on my closeness with their relationship and what's going on, right? Now, once the news broke that she was missing and her family's reaching out to me, now it's like, wait a minute, what happened? Like, what's going on here? And this is where I think it gets interesting, right?
Okay.
Because we don't know what was said at first. So it does look fishy. I agree with that.
Absolutely.
But what if it was one of those deals where he was like, look, man, we was out on this trip and she started losing it and she started whomping on me and beating on me. And I'm not dealing with that because I know if I stick around, things are going to go south. So you know what? I left her there. I left her money for a ticket to fly back home. She could go to her parents' house. We're on a break right now. I wouldn't be happy with that, but I'd be like, you know what? You could have handled that differently. That really wasn't the way to go about it. But I'd maybe make my peace with like, yo, call on her, check, make sure she's good. You know what I'm saying? Now, once the family comes out and says, like, we haven't heard anything, what's going on? Then at that point, we need to like circle back. Like, so where did you leave her and exactly what happened? And if he's still saying like, look, I left her at the hotel, like everything was fine when I left, like, we didn't leave under the best circumstances, but you know what? And I probably could have handled that better, but she was fine and able when I left. Then at that point, because of how things look, you've got to get a lawyer involved. And because you have to get a lawyer involved, I'm pretty sure the first thing your lawyer is going to tell you is, you don't say a word. Let me handle all communication. It doesn't matter how bad this looks because ultimately all fingers point towards your son. So first let's try and find this girl, right? Because let's actually get a status on where she's at before we make a statement. I'm pretty sure that's what was said. And now that the potential body has been found, right? Because they confirmed that the body has been found.
Yeah.
Now you're going into like a defense mode. Like, well, where were you? You're covering your bases. Like, again, I 100% agree with you. It is fishy, but what I can say is I feel like the family's lack of information, that makes sense to me, because anything that they put out there potentially can be held
liable
against them. So
we've seen this before in other situations though, where you don't come out and say anything because it can be used against you.
Yeah.
And also,
You've got to be more forthcoming, I think, as far as
to who?
To who? If she's missing, you've got to be
that's
cooperative
their
in a
son.
sense.
Right.
No, I'm saying that he's got to be more cooperative.
And he does have to be more cooperative, but guess what?
Because she's missing. If my thing is this pretty much paints it.
Clearly the law
Yeah.
is not in the law has not decided him as an official. How do I want to say this? Clearly,
Suspect.
They don't have enough for the law to go and break down this door and force him to talk, right? Because it started with initial just inquiries from the information I read, and like they said, he wasn't very helpful. The family wasn't very helpful. But at that point, I'm pretty sure it was one of those deals that they've already been in contact with a lawyer that said, you don't say anything. I 100% agree. It does not look good. I would want to believe if that was my child, I'd be like, look, you need to tell these people everything you know. But I also understand the concept of like, look, whatever he may have told them, they believe him, I guess, maybe, I don't know. And they're like, look, we're basically gonna practice silence here. You know what? Because that is in our best interest, because this does not look good. And anything we say potentially puts him in a bad situation. So you know what? We're just not going to say anything, and we're going to leave everything to our lawyer. Doesn't make it. I get it. It doesn't feel right. It doesn't look right.
No.
But is it the smart thing to do? Yes.
Morally, you would have to tell them something morally, because that's the right thing to do as far as how you would want it done to you as far as your kids, right? You're right. But there's a reason why they call the lawyer. I mean, because usually you don't call. Usually you say, let's go help find out what's going on. But there's a reason why they call the lawyer.
Absolutely.
They had to know something.
They had to know everything.
Something.
Because to me,
they weren't there. How did they
no,
know
because
everything?
to me, he had to express either whether he expressed it as an accident or something. They had to know because
something was said for them to have to call a lawyer.
And
something was said
because they bought him as much time as possible. Because I mean, it was 20. What's the last time they seen him? 10 days or whatever thing ago. I mean, he brought the van, right, and then he's no longer. They didn't want to help. Then he's no longer at the house, and then they go and they leave. They go and leave a note and say, "Hey, don't hurt yourself. We miss you." They knew where to find him in the preserve. Then they come back 2 days later and pick up the van or whatever, or the car, and then get the police involved. We haven't heard from him. He's literally. We don't know how long this. Like in my we don't know how long he's been on a run. Me, I don't think he's in the preserve. Me, I think he's in Mexico. Because I think the family is so damn smart that they
smart Mexico. They got extradition there.
No. I'm saying, but he could be Canada, could be whatever. My point is
they got that too.
But my point is he can still go there and hide somewhere because he was just a person of interest. There was no warrant for his arrest. That he had so many. He can travel. He can go anywhere. Then no one can stop him.
Right.
Now here's the thing. I feel like you put a lot of responsibility on the family, and I understand why, but we're talking about a guy that has no prior record, right? There's been no one that's come forward talking about.
Well, not yet. Not yet.
But you know what? When this situation happens, I'm pretty sure the first thing the police did was pull his record to see, okay, does he have anything that would point to some type of foul play? But
then you have you have the incident that happened on the 12th when you pull up the 911 call and you hear about the abuse that took place. So you have an incident. I mean, granted, they had
who hasn't had an argument with their girl?
Conflicting information.
No, I got you. But at the end of the day,
confirming that she was the aggressor.
Absolutely, but in law enforcement, you're trained to know what the abused does. They take the blame. They take the full blame, and you can just. I don't know, man. He was too charismatic. He was too comfortable. Let
me just say this. Years ago, I was with my ex-wife. We was having an argument about something.
Okay.
Right? And it got really heated, but it was her grabbing my shirt.
Yeah.
Right? Her mom called the popo on me.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, my wife could have been like, he was doing this to me, I was doing that, but that's not what happened. She was just grabbing my shirt because she was mad at me because I ain't want to do something for her or whatever.
Yeah.
But the thing is this. The grandmother called the popo. The popo came. It looked really bad. But it wasn't as bad as it seemed, though. And my point is, because it had a situation, it's not as bad as it always seems.
It's not as bad as it seems, but I'm saying you have, as far as, you have an incident that was highly, it's
emotional, right?
Yeah, but it was physical. So it could have been motive that, okay, either if it was self-defense or whatnot, she put her hands on him, what was said, right? You can see the blood marks or whatever the case may be, that something physical took place on August the 12th, right?
Okay.
And then you had a witness that said it was a different, vice versa, that it was him on the recording. At the end of the day, I'm saying two people went and they left in a volatile state, right? When they left, okay? From Utah, Moab. They were messaging, she was messaging her family saying, hey, we're going to Yosemite. Where were they going? I forgot where they're going. She said they were Yellowstone, I think, that she texted her mom, one of the last text messages that she mentioned they were going to go. And then all of a sudden, no more texts. Last update was from that. But you're talking about two people being, and they said, hey, it's elevating our patience for one another. We are fighting, bickering all the time.
And that's
because
why they separated them.
They separated for a night. No, for a night.
You had two people that got out the vehicle, both took ownership. One said, you know what, I suffer with high anxiety. I have OCD.
Yeah.
You know what? I was getting at him. I was being the aggressor. You got the other guy that comes out the car and says, look, man, we're good here. We don't need to proceed with this. There's no charges or anything that needs to be pressed. And you know what? For that moment, some cops would have been like, all right, you know what? Go ahead. They separated the two of them, which I still think was the right call based on what they had there. And ultimately, things went south, but based on the information they had and, you know, the way the two people reacted to the stop, that made sense to me. Like, it's easy to say, well, you know,
well, there's this discretion. You can have discretion for certain things.
You could have taken one of them to jail.
Yeah, it's a judgment call.
Yeah, but it's a judgment call. And you know what? I can't really put that on the responding officers because, again, it's a judgment call. I know someone that literally went to drop their kids off somewhere.
Yeah.
Them and their significant other got into an argument. He gets aggressive.
Yeah.
Gets in her face. She, trying to get out of the way because she was trying to leave.
Yeah.
He was in his way. She pushes him out of the way so she could leave. The cops show up at her house at like 1 or 2 in the morning and arrest her.
Oh, wow.
Because he called and said that, you know what, she put hands on me. And she's there trying to explain, like, I was trying to leave. He was blocking me. I literally pushed him out of the way so I could get out of the house.
Yeah.
And they're basically like, well, you know, based on law, whenever we get one of these calls, it doesn't matter. Regardless, we've got to take the person in. And because, you know what, the call was placed by him, we got to take you in. And literally, she spent a night in jail for a situation that all she was trying to do was leave, and he was the actual aggressor. So what I'm saying is
he's a punk.
Our laws haven't quite figured it out, and on some level, you got to have like just judgment involved. And the truth is, we can say, well, yeah, if they had taken one of them down, things might have worked out differently, maybe. But who was going to bail her out? Him. Right?
Nah, the father would have bailed him out. I don't think they had money like that.
The father was all the way back here. More than likely, it was going to be him down there and bailed her out. And the truth is, I don't even know if she would have needed to be bailed out. But more than likely, he was going to be the one to pick her up the next day anyway. That's a fact. Why would the father fly all the way from Florida? I think out there.
No, the father's in New York.
Okay, so all the way from New York out there to pick her up when he's right there. More than likely, he was going to be there to pick her up anyway. So I get all of this. It's easy to point fingers, but like, well, this should have happened here. That should have happened there. I 100% agree. The whole thing looks suspect.
No, it absolutely does. I just think they had more reason to push in on 9/11 when she was missing for 10 days and they went on a trip together and he came home with the van, and I think the authorities had more, to bring him in for questioning. I don't think he should have ever had the opportunity. He could have came in with his lawyer, but I think they had more reason to apprehend him and bring him in for questioning, because there's a point where you can have a lawyer, but you can bring him in with his lawyer for questioning.
You have to have,
and not just have him, because to me, he's the suspect. He's the last person.
We got laws, Reggie.
I'm about to say,
but he's the last person.
Someone and hold
No,
them
I ain't saying
because
got laws, man.
what, he was the last person on the scene. You got to be able to show and prove on some level.
I got you, but I'm gonna go ahead and
This isn't like on TV, bro.
No, it's not going TV, bro. I'm not trying to tell you there is laws, but he's the last person to see. He's the suspect. He's not the person of interest. He's the suspect.
He's the person. Well, to date, they still view him as.
Where's the evidence at?
Well, but I'm gonna go ahead and play something for you guys because I want you to hear the OG, John Walsh on his take on this.
John Walsh,
isn't it Walsh? No, it's not Walsh, right? I say John Walsh. I said John Walsh. All right, get his take on it and hear what he says, because he goes into more details and stuff, and then you guys can come to a conclusion as far as him bringing more facts up with it. So I can play this for you guys.
His old booty.
Haters. Ray, what was that? I'm gonna retract that. I'm gonna retract that. What the heck? I'm gonna have to.
That dude's so old.
Yeah, but you were talking about his button stuff, man. That was weird. Jeff, that was weird as hell. He's old. What? Okay.
No comment.
Yeah, that was weird, Ray. We're gonna have to talk about that off here.
He's basically made his life's passion and work on that. He's the host of Investigation Discovery's In Pursuit with John Walsh. In just 3 seasons, John has helped capture 26 fugitives and find 8 missing children and about 1,400 throughout his career. The question, listen, he's not officially a fugitive. He's not officially charged. But John Walsh, do you think you might be able to help catch number 27, Brian Laundrie?
Well, that's the reason I'm talking to you, Ashley, and it's a pleasure to talk to you. You used to work for me, one of the best reporters I ever had, and wish you well on your new gig. But I've always said, and I've been saying it for days, this is a homicide. This dirtbag is out there. I don't know how he got out of the house with the FBI and local cops watching him day and night. And, this semantic BS about person of interest and the old.
Facts. Facts. They were watching this guy. Facts. Yeah. How did he get out?
Didn't matter if they was watching him. They technically have
But they didn't follow him. But why did they not follow him?
Even if they followed him, Reg, they had no cause to stop that man from moving how he
he can move all he wanted to move. He's going to move with a buddy system with someone following him. I understand what he's saying. Like, if we're on that level and you're getting national attention on this, you should have someone following. If the FBI is involved as well,
national attention
somebody should have told them though.
Someone should have told them, right? Exactly.
Somebody should have told them.
Even
if he's a person interested, don't have anything on him, they still need to have
someone following that dude.
National attention.
They're trying to build evidence. They should try to get him.
He may be guilty, but national attention does not dictate guilt.
All right.
I can tell you what though, they've arrested people for less.
Exactly. And they follow people for less. Exactly.
You know what I want to say, right? I got two comments I want to throw out there, but you know what? We gonna keep it.
All right, but I'm gonna keep it playing. So I want to see if it changes. It alters what you guys think, because Ray just saying, hey, they should have been tailing him. You said, no, let that man go anywhere.
I said they could tail him all they want, but they can't prevent him from moving.
No, that's what I'm saying. They should have been following. Right. That's all. Okay. All right, we'll keep playing.
Somebody should have been telling him.
Yeah, absolutely.
We used to call it the suspect. Now, there's only one suspect. There were no other persons of interest, no other suspects. How did he get out? How did the FBI and the local cops let the main suspect get away? All I had to do is put a deputy sheriff in the front street, a deputy sheriff in the back street. They wouldn't have had to search a swamp. And what the family is doing to Gabby's family, what Brian's family, the dirty Laundries, and believe me, they are dirty, when they haven't cooperated. This girl used to live in their house. She was engaged to their son. Their son meandered back from a 4-month trip and parked a Winnebago, her Winnebago, not his, her van, not Winnebago, her van in the driveway for 10 days. So he had 10 days to scrub that. I don't know what the hell the FBI waited so long to get in there, but he had 10 days to clean the house out. He had 10 days to scrub the van. And then finally, the parents went, how could Brian not tell us that he didn't bring her home? How did his parents, how did the dirty Laundries not have the guts to tell us? So they filed a missing persons report, and then they clam up. He lawyers up, they clam up. And think of the gall of this. Last Friday, their famous Johnny Cochran-style lawyer, Bertolino, calls the police and says, oh, the Laundries want to help you out now. On Tuesday, Brian went to a swamp that was nearby, and we were so worried about him that we went and found the car and put a note in it and said, dear Brian, don't hurt yourself. And then we brought the car back ourselves on Thursday, and then we called you on Friday. We didn't help you at all in the beginning, but now Brian's gone. Well, you know what they did? They bought their son 4 extra days. They bought him.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
So do you see why I believe they're more involved than they claim?
So,
or not claim because they're not saying anything, right?
So John Walsh is, he's got all kind of credibility, what he's done as far as that show he used to have back in the day, America's Most Wanted.
Yeah.
So I'm surprised that he didn't have any FBI contacts or contacts at all. Why he didn't make a phone call or something? I mean, I get. He's making these comments like that and all, but I mean, I don't think he's being helpful right now.
No, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
He's not being helpful.
This feels like shock nonsense. Like
This
the
feels
dirty
like
Laundries and the Cochran style. Like at the end of the day, is that helping his family either? No. Is that helping her family?
No, but he's bringing the facts. He's just bringing facts.
No, he's not.
Where's the facts at?
He's mimed in with.
Where's the facts?
Okay, but he just mentioned what happened. What happened?
We already knew that.
You knew about that. You didn't know about him. They're going to the thing, leaving a note, and then picking up the car, and then contacting him on Friday and say he's missing
somebody
now.
Moved the car outside of him because one of the neighbors confirmed that the car was there from I forgot what day it was. So I knew someone else moved the car.
I'm talking about him going to
the question is this though.
What's that?
If what he is doing is so crazy and wrong, why hasn't the police done anything about it?
Okay, well, I'm gonna keep playing it.
Must be something legal there that he can.
I'm gonna keep playing it.
Keep playing it.
All right, let my boy speak real quick. All right, all right, guys, this is what I'm trying to say.
And put a note in it and said, dear Brian, don't hurt yourself. And then we brought the car back ourselves on Thursday, and then we called you on Friday. We didn't help you at all in the beginning, but now Brian's gone. Well, you know what they did? They bought their son 4 extra days. They bought him 4 days to get a head start. So this Wednesday night, I'm going to focus in on Brian. He's going to be the top of the show on In Pursuit. And as you said, Ashley, I know one thing all these years. Lots of people don't want to call the cops. They don't want to call the FBI.
Oh, that's what it's about?
Wow. They want an
Did he not just plug himself?
Did
he not plug himself?
It's all about
He's gonna have him he's gonna put him on Pursuit, right? In the Pursuit to get him. What are you talking about?
He's already on Pursuit. Everybody's looking for him. His show on Wednesday is going.
You guys just asked him to help. He's helping.
I didn't ask him to do anything.
Wow.
Why don't we get him on this podcast?
Right.
Let me go finish and play this.
About the dirty Laundries. At
Oh,
the end of the day,
Lord.
He doesn't care about that family.
I 100% agree. The family was not forthcoming, right? I don't think there is a disagreement between the three of us on that. What I am saying is,
okay,
what we would like to see from a moral standpoint as one set of parents to the next, they have not practiced that. And they probably haven't practiced that because at this point it's about, you know what, I'm trying to protect my child.
It's a legal
because
issue.
we don't know what details he shared with them. You know what I'm saying? He could very well be. He is the number one suspect, and he very well could have done wrong. But you know what? There is the slight chance that maybe he didn't do it. Maybe he didn't make good decisions, but you know what? He didn't do it. And if he didn't do it, think about how bad this looks. You know what I'm saying?
Well, how bad does it look that he flees?
It looks.
You got to look at it from that perspective as
it
well.
looks-
It looks guilty.
Messed up.
It looks guilty, right?
It looks messed up, but you know what does happen? By him leaving there, he doesn't draw that huge, ridiculous crowd that's bound to form in front of the house. That may be happening
It's
anyway.
still gonna happen
but
anyway, yeah.
But you know what? I'm pretty sure it's at a much lower scale than it would have been if he was there staying. And the other thing is, we are assuming that he's guilty because he was the last one in contact, and his movements are shady, to say the least. But I can tell you this. I have been in situations, and I have been with females who can be aggressive and handsy. And you know what? I have in past picked up and be like, yo, you know what? You are tripping. I'm out. And I've left. And I've left them on the scene. I haven't taken the car. I excused myself. So that move was a little different. Like, I'm leaving you out here. I'm taking the car. I'm taking everything else. But I have, because in those instances, the best thing for me and actually for us was to remove myself from the equation. So we don't know what took place. You know what I'm saying? But I agree. It doesn't look good. I agree. More than likely, we're going to find out.
Well, it said homicide. The coroner said homicide.
Right, but it doesn't mean that he's the one that killed her.
Who killed her?
If he left her out, who knows where, out in the woods somewhere, you believe he's the only one that has the ability to kill? We're all capable of killing. I'm not defending this man.
On the 27th, because on the 27th, or his car, the last text message that was sent out to her, which was, tell Stan he needs help, which another YouTuber or one of these social media people were saying that it's reference to Stan, the song by Eminem, when it was like, tell Stan he needs help. I keep leaving voicemails and no answer. I think it's one of the lyrics. They saying either he put it in there, referring, because they thought it was the grandfather, but they said maybe it's reference to the Stan song where he killed the girlfriend and had her in the trunk or something like that.
Who sent that text? He sent that text?
He sent the text. I mean, because it's alleged that he sent the text. He was like, tell Stan, help Stan because he keeps calling me, or I keep calling him, giving voicemails.
You do know Stan was in love with Eminem, right?
Yeah, Stan was in love with Eminem, but Stan, they were like, that's her grandfather, so why would she call her grandfather Stan? But then another YouTuber says about a crime that has a crime thing saying, but those are the lyrics in Stan, and Stan had to do with, how he killed his... But I don't
understand what that text message has to do with anything, though.
Well, they're saying that he was texting the mother, and that was not her, saying about the grandfather. Saying the grandfather's name is Stan, but she calls the grandfather granddad or grandpa. But it was like, hey, can you help Stan? He keeps calling me, or I keep calling him, leaving voicemails or something to that nature. The text message.
So the text message was sent from her phone, is what you're
her
saying?
Phone.
Okay, because you said he sent it. So
they're saying that he sent it because she doesn't call the grandfather Stan.
Okay.
She calls the grandfather grandpa, or whatever the case may be, whatever the terminology is in their household, in their family. So it was weird to call him by his first name. But this is what drew the red flag. So another YouTuber, and this is why I say social media is becoming a huge part of this discovery, is because there's other people that live this van life. And I thought, like you said before, I think the van life is awesome. I thought about those conversion things, turning a van and the coolest things that they do with these vans, man. Put beds and put TVs in there, refrigerators. You've seen those, right? Yeah. The van life that they call it. It's really cool. Even convert the old school buses and stuff. I
got a friend that did that.
Oh, really? And I think that's one of the awesome things. So they have people that do the YouTubes and they travel with families. So someone had the GoPro that was just looping, was just recording, didn't know it was off.
Oh, yeah.
They drove by.
Yes.
And this is how they pinpointed that he was there in Tinton, Tinton, or Teton. Teton's the pronunciation for it. At that campsite, whatever, because her van was there. And as soon as they're pulling up, you see the van door closing in the back. So that was the day, basically, that he left her. I mean, that was when... So he was there with her. So he didn't, leave her deserted. It was like, whenever the autopsy says, determines how long she's been dead, they can determine how long weeks back, because he was basically at the proximity with the van because it was on him driving. And... determined that he was not far from, he basically was location where the body was, because that's where the body was found.
Based on that GoPro that kept going, they caught
they caught him and someone closing the van. Yep. So
somebody who's in the same van life thing.
No, it was her. It's her van. They identified because they had the stickers and everything.
No,
someone that was in the YouTuber, doing what she does. Then he had another YouTuber. So this is crazy. On the 29th of August, I believe, right before he went back for the van, or whatever the case may be, he said he was trucking. He found another YouTuber or TikToker, and they were like, "Hey, him and the family or a girlfriend and boyfriend were." He asked him for a ride, hitchhike.
We hitchhiked, right?
And John Walsh mentioned too. He mentions, and it made sense. He's like, he offers them. They're going to Jackson. He said, "Hey, I'm trying to get a ride to Jackson." We're going to Jackson too. They call it something different, but he said, "I'll give you $200." And I was like, why would he say that? They thought it was ridiculous. $200 because I've been hitchhiking. My girlfriend's back there. She's blogging. She's editing the video. I left her for a couple of days. I've been staying out in the wilderness, camping. And they looked at him, he's clean. He doesn't like he's been hitchhiking. And they mentioned they're going to this part of Jackson. And John Walsh says it. I can play it for you guys. And they mentioned a different name it's called. He says, "Stop the car, let me out." He thought they were going elsewhere, but they were going exactly where he wanted to go. But he got out. And he left and he got hitchhiked with someone else or picked up by someone else. But the reason he mentioned $200 is because it's going to stick out of your mind to build an alibi. Like, now you're going to remember, I asked you and I told you I was camping and I left my girlfriend with the car. And she was blogging, editing. So it all makes sense until he has to. It doesn't work out for him where he's trying to go without the van and trying to. So to me, it almost seemed like he was trying to pin her with the van, that I left her by herself with the van. You guys saw me, until it didn't work out the way he thought it would. And now he had to go back to retrieve the van and drive home with the van.
A good lawyer would call that speculation.
No, I get all that. The good lawyer would call it speculation. But my point is, social media is playing a huge part in this, as far as picking the pieces. That whatever story he comes up with, it's going to be destroyed.
I'm so nervous about that. About people who think they're lawyers.
Everybody's checked in on his story is going to be destroyed. It'll be interesting to see what the autopsy turns up. Because what if the autopsy turns up that she was dead for only 3 days and he's been home that long? You know what I'm saying? And again, I'm not defending this guy. I am also not at a place where. It's trial by public, and by
public opinion. I got you.
And as New Yorkers, as ex New Yorkers, we're suspect of everyone. So I can tell you with certainty, this story does not make sense. Right? This whole thing is super fishy.
Yeah.
The time frames, him coming home,
him not being forthcoming.
Not being forthcoming. No one seeming to look for this girl. Like, the whole thing is weird. What is not weird to me, and I think this is where we disagree, is the family not saying anything. That makes sense to me. They're trying to protect their child. Right, wrong, or indifferent. We were raised different. If that was us, our mother's going to the precinct.
Yeah, exactly.
And be like, "Yo, come get him."
Yeah, exactly. Come get him to talk to you. He's going to talk to you. He's going to help you find that child, that woman's baby. Exactly.
Going to no swamp or
exactly.
park to write a note and pick up the car. We are not getting that, okay? They are actually going to go down to OPD and be like, "Yo, I know where he's at right now."
I know, because no one just calls a lawyer.
Absolutely.
You just don't call a lawyer.
Well, hey, your girlfriend's missing.
You know what?
Something had to be said for them to call that lawyer, though.
But I think maybe it wasn't such a big deal. But as more time went by and this girl still wasn't turning up, they was like, "Yo, this is bad." And you know what? Then it's like, maybe we need to get a lawyer involved. Maybe. I could see that happening, because it's like, people are asking questions. The police wants us to provide a statement. They want him to go down. Whatever he says, knowing that it could potentially be used against him, if you have the means. So think about it. Like, we sometimes think of lawyers, and it maybe feels a little out of reach, because we know it's costly, depending on your lifestyle and what your financial profile. A lawyer's just one of many resources you have available to you. Okay, I don't know these folks. I don't know if they're well-to-do or not. But even if they're not, I know that situation looked bad. It looked bad when he showed up without her, and with each passing day, I'm pretty sure it only looked worse, And so with the police buzzing, the FBI on the scene, people outside of your house, a family calling, requesting information, what is your smart move? If you're smart, the very first thing you do is like, let me seek legal counsel. Again, there's a difference between what you do to legally protect yourself and what you do as far as like moral obligation, like the correct thing to do, morally. But that actually makes sense to me.
Yeah, the thing is too, though, we kind of been through this before. When I say that, that's like with TV, social media. There's been, Crime TV, True TV. There was a station that only had stuff about court stuff. Mm-hmm. And it was pretty popular at one time. I mean, super popular. And so they had all these big cases in the past as far as like missing wives or missing children. Mm-hmm. And people have learned from that, from watching those shows. You got to lawyer up.
You do not incriminate yourself.
Yes.
That's it.
You cannot.
If he's wrong, he's making the right choice because he's trying to protect himself. And if he's not wrong, then he's damn sure making the right choice to try and protect himself. Either way, you know what? You lawyer up.
And people used to always feel like, tell the truth. Just be honest, and it'll set you free.
Yeah.
It can send you to jail.
And not only that, but keep in mind, we're also seeing a trend now of a lot of people that have been put behind bars, and you're finding out after the fact because they didn't have proper representation. You know what they were, their words or the information was fabricated, and you know what, because they were dealing with, maybe some public defender. No knock on my public defenders, we love you, but you know what, it was a game changer. I mean, one of our last shows we covered that, right?
Sean K. Ellis.
At this point, if you have the means, then you know what, you protect yourself. And I agree with you, Reg. When all is said and done, will I be surprised if it comes out and they link him to it? Heck no. I'm just saying the family silence, though shady and grimy, it makes sense to me. And your boy over there, I'm not knocking his reputation for tracking down, potential killers and his success rate. I'm just saying I don't like the way he went about it, and it just, that in itself also feels very shock jock, grimy. Tune in on Wednesday where we're gonna make him our focus.
In Pursuit.
Commercial. Again,
wow.
I know he's gotta eat too, but like you, do I really believe it's about the well-being of the family? It may be, but I really feel like first and foremost it's about him.
Listen, he's informative, and he's got history, and he knows what he's talking about. But at the same time,
well, he can relate to the family. He had a son that was kidnapped and killed.
I'm well aware.
He's knocking that.
I'm well aware of that, but that doesn't sound like he's.
That sounds self-serving to me.
It does. Very self-serving.
We don't have to agree.
Okay, John. Not only is there dirty laundry, but there's dirty laundry here on the Bro-RantZ set.
But we'll have you on the show to clear this
up.
Yeah, right.
I'm pretty sure the family's thankful to have him. And if I was her family, I'd want that dude. I want someone that's going to ruffle feathers and, call into question the practices and procedures that was implemented. So I get that. But are you going to believe me? Are you going to lead me to believe that it is solely about the well-being of the family? Nah.
He's not.
Wow.
At least I didn't feel that way.
You guys are so tainted. On a better note, let's go leave it on a lighter note. Big Brother. Have you guys? I know I mentioned this to you guys. History has been making on Big Brother, man. I talk about it will definitely have a person of color, a black person, will be winning Big Brother, which is unreal. I mean, I think it's been 17 seasons.
20 plus
seasons, and it hasn't been one. Just like the horror movies, they've been first to go.
Why are they called the Cookout?
Oh, they came up with that.
Why'd they pick that?
Because black people have cookouts.
I like it.
Yeah, I liked it too. I liked it too.
I gotta tell you, at first,
they should have said Wakanda forever.
At first, I was like, "Huh?" But
made sense.
The more, because the thing is, I'm not really a Big Brother fan, right? And
gotcha.
No knock on it. I think the show is cool. It's just not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
But the more I read up on it, and I read up on them, and I watched the videos and stuff. I kind of dug it.
Yo, it was really cool. But the history that they made is not just, okay, a black person's going to definitely win it. It's the fact that they were Alliance of 6 from day one, and no one's ever done that.
From out the gate.
From 6 members of the Alliance
They were what now?
The Alliance, they made an Alliance from day one. There's never been an Alliance in Big Brother that all of them made it.
From day one.
Day one. And Big Brother changed the rules. So it's not like they were working with the same system or how it's normally played. They were like, no, we partner up. You guys are partnered up. You have to pick your teams like in basketball. Here's your captain picks your teammates, and that's how they did it. They were on separate teams. So what they did was genius. They used their teammates that they were paired with as buffers. So they were loyal to the Cookout, but they were also loyal in a sense that, working with their teams they were with, and the fact that well executed that people didn't even know what was happening. Like, dude, it was so ingenious. Like, they didn't pose as a threat because it never was, right? Because it was to the point where the Asian guy, which was really funny, I called him. His name was Derek as well. I forgot, was it Derek C or something? But he was on there. He was a great player. I liked him. Kate and I liked him.
And did you watch the show as it was going?
Oh, absolutely. I was like, oh, let's watch this, and all of a sudden we were like glued to it, and we're like, oh, this is really cool. He was like, oh man, are there any more white guys on the show? Like, because they're at that point they were being there, they were out, and then it got to the point I'm like, these people. Because they're
slowly putting it together.
No, not even slowly putting it together. It's the fact that they looked and they were like not seeing that, there's a majority now in this house, and you don't see what the ethnicity is. Yeah. Because you don't ever pose it as a threat. You're like, hey, this is never what you don't, and all of a sudden like, hey, one girl mentioned, I think she's Hispanic. She's Hispanic, and she was a swimsuit. She's from Florida, and she's a swimsuit.
She was the last one that got up.
Yeah.
Was she the one that was like, well, if you go home, I mean, technically.
Yes, you'll be the last white person. You're the white person. If you think of me, you're the last white person. And the lawyer guy, Xavier, was like, yo, what are you doing, Alyssa? Her name was Alyssa. He's like, what are you doing? Like, you were going to be in Final 7, but now you're trying to put that in her head. She's going to figure out. Dude, it's like you have 6 black people and you have 2 white people and you have 1 Hispanic. But they don't see that because they don't pose as a threat, because it's just.
But they had to see something, though.
They did not.
Probably.
They did not. But when you go to the jury,
they played it well.
Bro, they were like, this is genius. They were like, hold on. They were like, what happened? And they're sitting in a jury, and of course they relieve it when they so they go in the jury house. The last I think the last 4 or 6 people to get booted out go to the jury house, so they get to see. They get to know how the game's being played because they all reveal and talk to each other. Not the ones get sent out earlier, they go home. So they just watch it from TV. So they were like, yo. And they were comparing notes, and they were like, yo, I think these people are in alliance, and they still didn't put it together. And they were like, and then the other person comes in from the jury, from being booted out, and they're like, no, this, and they still didn't put it together. And they were like, okay, wait. So they're like, oh, Keelan and Sarah, they're old teammates. So they were like, yeah, but she went home. And then boom, and then they went home. They go, oh, shoot. Yo, they went up with their partners and they used them as buffers and they went home. Oh, shoot, this is ingenious. They're like, I can't even be mad, because then they explained why. And one of the reasons was they were like, hey, the pact they made was no matter what, we're not going to vote each other out. They said, I don't care how it gets. We're not going to vote each other out because this is bigger than us.
Right.
So the beauty of it was like, yo, even the people that they partnered up with that they sent home, they were like, I can't even get mad at you because in history there's never been a Big Brother winner that was black. And you guys are doing it for a bigger purpose. So one of the moments I loved was the contestant, the player Tiffany. So she had a chance to break the rule and worry about her own game. A lot of them had the time to do that, but she was like, had the opportunity to do it. And she was like, her partner that she rolled, there was a girl partner. She was the last white woman that was there. And she was telling her, she was like, she had a chance to put her, she won HOA, which you get to put up who you want to evict. She could have put her, whoever up. And she was like, because the plan was, they told me, yo, you got to put your partner up. And she was like, she was trying to send someone else home for her own game, and then she was like, damn, all right, I'm going to have to put her up. And she told her straight up. She was like, listen, I'm going to have to talk to you. She was like, yeah, what's up, what's up? She goes, I'm going to have to put you up. She goes, why? She goes, I made myself a promise that I was going to come here. I was never going to. And I saw these faces. I was like, I'm not going to put a black person up. And she was like, yo, the girl cried and was like, no, I understand. She freaked out for a moment. She said, no, I understand. She was like, listen, I can't do it. That's my promise. Yo, there's been so much moments that I'm like, dude, it touches you like, whoa. And just to see what
unity,
if we can do that in a game, what we can do in society, what we're capable of just doing things on that level, putting the bigger picture ahead instead of oneself, what we talked about before. Anyway, man, I just thought it was the best strategic Big Brother I've seen that I've watched. So I mean, one of the you know what I'm saying, and it was done with integrity. That's if you look at this, you see the backslide. Yo, this Big Brother was done with integrity. Like you can't even be mad. You're like, oh shoot, man. Like I want this person to win. This person to win. You're like, all these people deserve it because, bro, they played for each other, and it was like, can't even make this up. But, that was...
I may tune into the season just to kind of see how it
just
played out.
Watch it. Dude, watch it. Just go back and watch it. You'd be like, whoa. You it's unreal. You'd be like, damn, these people are really sticking to the plan. Like, they can actually take this and whatever. No, they're not. They're making sure they...
Who do you believe is going to win it now, though, out of all the 6 left?
It's either going to be Xavier, which is the lawyer, or Kylan, which he's been a beast winning it. Xavier, he's a lawyer.
Is he the bald-headed one?
Yeah, he's the one that's been sitting back, like the mastermind, like been throwing competitions. Yeah, Kalen's been the one winning it, and he was like, "Yo," he told Xavier this. He told Xavier, Kalen told Xavier, right, that he was like, "Look, I want to be in with you because I want to be going up against the best for the final 2 when they make the decision. I don't want to go with someone that I can beat. I want to go with someone that I can potentially lose to." That's the integrity of the game that I'm saying. They're not saying I want to go against a weak person. No, I want to go against someone that deserves to be sitting at the last 2. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. So I either one could win. I actually kind of hope Kylan wins because he's earned it, man. He's literally kept his integrity the whole time.
Why do you love Big Brother so much?
I wouldn't say I love Big Brother so much. I like it because...
Hold on, you said you don't love it, right?
I don't love it. I mean,
how many episodes? I mean, how many seasons have you watched?
I watched here and there. So, I mean, I would say Kate and I probably watched like 12, 14 seasons, maybe.
You watched 12 to 14 seasons and you don't love it?
No, I would say love because this season I like. I can say I love this season because they made things different. They mixed things up. So it was completely different. They kept the same formula, and I was like, come on, everyone's going to do this. Everyone creates a click in the beginning. So this forced them to make the clicks for themselves. Like they forced them to make a click and stick to the click because subconsciously people, even though they created the teams for them, they broke the teams up by week 2 or 3, right? The dominant teams, and people by habit of environment, they stick with who they're with. So they end up sticking with who they're with.
It's 12 to 14 seasons. Is that... How many years is that?
12, 14 years.
12 to 14 years.
Yes,
how many years you been going to LA Fitness?
I don't know, brother. Why?
Wasn't that many though, right?
I don't know. I have no clue. How long I've been going to LA Fitness?
Well, it opened up in 2016, so...
2016 it opened?
2016.
Oh, wow. Okay, so...
Okay. You love it, bro.
Oh my God!
I'm about to say
you love it.
You love
I'm
it, bro.
about to say, but maybe you're not going to use the word love, but you're definitely vested. There's no doubt.
Well, hey, it's
and there's no knock on that. Like,
listen,
different
I
strokes,
like,
different
dude.
folks.
There's different things. I can say what I love. I can say what I like, and I can say I truly like it. I didn't say I love it because there's things about it I would change. This season, I said I love because they mixed it up and they made it.
Wakanda forever.
Not even Wakanda forever. They just made it interesting, and that was just a bonus on top of it. I like to see, I think it showed people that black people can be a threat too in a strategic mental game. That it doesn't also have to be physical. Like you strategically have to play this game mentally. To be a social game.
Have they had this many black people on the show before?
No, it's always been one person.
That's what I was about to say. I think that was that.
No, but I understand that's the difference. But my point is they've always been out. They've always been outed. They've been the first to go, the second to go,
Right,
like in a horror
There's
film.
only been one.
because it was they were like
But-
significantly outnumbered. Like,
Something outnumbered, but it wasn't. They were not. What were they seen as? Society saw them as what? That played in that house as insignificant.
Because there were only one.
No, but you're missing the point. In a world where they tell you this is not about color, and you're in a big brother house, right? Or even if there was one or two, maybe sometimes there's a girl that's mixed or whatever, or whatever the case may be. They just shows them how insignificant they are.
If we go to a basketball court,
but I'm not.
If you go to a basketball court and there's 11 people, 10 blacks and 1 white, on the average, the white person calling next.
Yeah, but I'm not. No, it depends on how whatever they are. But my point is, how did they see him exactly? Like, oh, this is physical and mental, but they saw him as insignificant. So color shouldn't play a part in that, but it was.
It just happens like that.
But
That's what I meant.
I guess I'll approach it from a different angle. Would the Cookout have had the same success had they not had numbers? No.
No, I mean, no. But listen,
Yes or no?
I'll tell you right now, the Cookout's been the Cookout with different ethnicities. My point is this: the Cookout worked because of loyalty, because they've been alliances that started from one. No. My whole point was, I'm not talking about just color. I'm talking about what they've done was history, because they've been a day one ride or die alliance that people have done, and they've cut each other's. I'm talking about people have cut each other's of different ethnicities. No, cut each other. I'm talking about as far as the success of the group, period, it's never been done.
Right. But what I'm trying to say is the success also speaks to the numbers.
I understand what you're saying as far as them getting, but they had opportunities to destroy each other, and they didn't. But a lot of people that have been in that predicament
But that happened.
has destroyed each
But that
other.
happened because you know what, they identify with each other on a different level, and ultimately because they had that numbers and they had an understanding. You know what? I think that's what carried forth that loyalty. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not trying to diminish anything that you're saying.
This dude is killing everything I'm saying today.
No,
Jay.
I'm just speaking at it from.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. Here is why I say it's important, right? It's important to celebrate this.
Yeah.
Because you know what? It spoke to unity.
Mm-hmm.
It spoke to loyalty, and it spoke to integrity.
Yeah.
And I think that regardless of your background, your color, your upbringing, you can appreciate those qualities, right?
Right,
and
absolutely.
you can learn from them. That said,
Mm-hmm.
if they didn't have that grouping,
Yeah.
let's say it was, I don't know what the starting number is, but let's say it was a variation, a group, and you still had 6 people come together. You've watched the show enough time. How many times do people come together and pledge a promise to one another, and they end up breaking it when they have that opportunity? In that instance, I feel like the glue was the fact that, you know what, there was like some type of ethnic background, and they understood, like, you know what, this is bigger than us. And I think that is ultimately what led to the success, but you need to have the numbers to be able to pull that off. That's one. And two, to support why I believe that theory to be true, you've been watching it for a couple of years. This is season 23.
I'm not sure.
And this is going to be the first time in 23 seasons that you've had a person of color potentially win. I think those numbers speak for themselves.
Not potentially going to win, because they have the number.
That's going to win.
Yeah.
And it took a group effort to make that happen.
That's crazy.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's the crazy part. Like, what they did was super impressive. But what's even crazier is the fact that it literally took a group effort.
Yep, exactly.
to make it happen.
Pretty much,
That's nuts.
Well, I hope that this cookout isn't what America sees, what it takes for America to see that black people can be united and loyal.
No, I think it's a good thing to see.
No, that's a good thing.
But what I'm saying is I hope that they don't see it due to the fact we had 6 people united on Big Brother.
Well, I think they're going to see it. You know why? Because, again, like we talked about social media, this is something that a camera sees, documents, and they see the integrity each and every day. So it's not like, oh, well, this happened. No, we saw it happen.
People calling out for like reverse racism or something like that.
Yes, they were.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, yes.
There was.
I
Comments
saw it on the internet. I was like,
there was comments of potential
Yes.
reverse racism.
yes. This dude said if there had been 6 white people
All the time.
and They
It's all the time.
And they made it a group, and they voted out all the black people.
But they have. But it's always been one.
That's
It
been
happened. That's been the 23 seasons.
It'd be like, go
It's
back
been-
to the other 22 seasons,
23,
bro.
yeah, 22 seasons been that. So that's what the case been. It's just been one or two, but every time.
Pick a season and pull it up.
Exactly. Absolutely, brother. So that's what it's been.
Has any Asians won?
I think the issue
No.
is the collaboration.
So no Asians have won?
No.
What about people of
Hispanics?
yeah?
I don't believe so. I don't know. I mean, don't hold me to it, but I don't believe so.
I think the issue is really not is the collaboration effort, which leaves people feeling some kind of way, but isn't that kind of part of the game? And I guess for anyone that says, well, if this had been reversed, how would people feel? Well, I mean, that's been the case
the whole time.
The collaboration effort looks a little different, but the vast majority of the people involved in the decision making definitely don't look like them.
Yep.
Don't look like us.
Exactly.
So isn't it essentially the same thing? So
folks-
it's a game.
How many folks
No, it
are
is.
on the show total?
I don't know. Maybe 16, I think. I believe 16.
Has there ever been 6 Asians?
No.
What about 6 Hispanics?
I don't know. There have been several Hispanics, maybe like 3 or something. I mean, there's been numbers. I mean, that's normal.
Okay.
What are you doing, PI?
I'm just trying to get stats.
I know. You got to listen. You do your hard research.
But I'll tell you what, though. His questions make sense because now you have to wonder if Big Brother's going to revisit the format a little
Well, they can. And they should. I think it should be equaled out. I think it should be like that because, hey, you know what? You are going to not messed up, but you're going to go to people that you look like similar to you or has the same background or culture as you. So it's definite. So like when they say reverse race, it's not that. It's just like a frat guy goes to someone that plays golf or that he can relate to. It's just. It has to be environment.
Human
no,
tendencies.
I'm saying it's environment. Why is it human what?
Human tendencies.
Hey, exactly. This dude.
why the jock got to
No, I'm just saying. No, I said that golf. You said that. I said, I'm
why
just
you said
saying.
golf,
Dude.
right?
Like,
Well, I can say the brother played basketball. Just things like
didn't
that.
say that.
No, I'm saying that, but whatever, man. Leaving on that good note, that you guys ruined my good note. Matter of fact, Jeff.
No. Real talk. I think it's a huge accomplishment, and I don't watch the show, but it's enough to potentially get me to watch the show. So that's a plus, right?
You should have left off. Should have led off with that. Started with that. You wanted to mention something about what craze, Ray?
Oh my goodness!
Before we sign off here,
It's kind of it's not happening right now. Well, there is happening right now, but there's something called the milk crate challenge, where people would basically have these milk crates that we used to use back in the day for to hold milks and
basketball. If you're in New York, it was the basketball. Basketball hoop.
Bicycle rims too. But anyway,
What?
bicycle rims
What?
for hoops?
Oh, bro! I thought you meant the crate when you were riding with some crate.
That's what you said.
I was
too.
like,
how do
bro.
you ride a milk crate?
I was like Flintstone, Fred Flintstone over here. Yo,
So-
okay.
So there's this challenge called the milk crate challenge. Back to that, and we would line up milk crates. It goes from 1 up to I think six levels, and you would have a contestant and be a person that would try to go across
An
the
idiot.
crates. And the way I found it is I follow a guy on Instagram called Filet.
Okay. Filet.
You ever heard of Filet?
Nah, man. We've eaten filet.
Okay. Well, he breaks down like usually sports events in his own way. He's from New York. I think
Okay.
he's from New York. I want to say,
Gotcha.
but he breaks down sporting events in his own way. And then he had the milk crate challenge on there, and the way he breaks it down, it is super hilarious because you'll have first. I think he had like homeless people back there, like homeless people, and they were like trying to walk up this challenge up the crates or whatnot. And the thing about it is that there was no safety harness. There's no like support. It's just people walk up there with like boots on or like they'll walk up there like and trying to like.
I think I saw one lady in heels, which was like super impressive.
Bro.
The thing is, it's so crazy
What?
that people do this
Mm-hmm.
and potentially they can break their neck.
Yeah, they can hurt themselves pretty
they can
bad.
die.
For what? For clout? for like, yo, I'm the milk crate king.
for
For
internet
clicks.
clout. Yeah.
For clicks.
Yeah.
So what happens when you get the clicks? Hey, you the milk
they
crate king?
I don't
Queen?
know, but I love it though.
Oh my god!
Have you guys seen it?
I've seen,
I've seen
watched
I've seen the research, and I'm like, oh,
and I cringe because
I'm like,
I've seen
why?
the aftermath of
I think I watched it for like 30 minutes straight, just laughing.
Oh my gosh, I don't like.
Well, you watch it. It's like 1,000 Ways to Die. So you watch it. You're like, let's see, how you get injured. What's up with this person? So you're literally glued to it. Like, okay, who's gonna? Let's see.
There's so much that can go wrong in that instance.
Absolutely.
Like,
They had one time I had at least about 300 people out there watching, filming it. 300 people just watching this, and this dude went to the top of the milk craze, and then he tried to make room so he can run down real fast. But usually when you get to the top step, that next step is the one that gets you every time.
Mm-hmm.
That's when you flip over and like pretty much hit your face on the craze. So
yeah, see,
maybe one day we should do it in your backyard.
Nah, we're good.
We're
We're
good?
good, brother.
I'm good. I'm all the way.
I'm good. You got more chances to get me on the pickleball field court than have me doing some milk crate challenge.
Pickleball is pretty good, man.
Yeah, I know. I heard. It's an old person sport.
I wasn't even gonna address it. I'm like, wow,
Oh,
just
my
really take it
goodness.
to pickleball?
Pickleball is really good, man.
Like, and then afterwards we'll play a little shuffleboard. Like, yeah, I'm
Little
good.
bingo. How about a little bingo?
Dude.
oh man.
Oh, Ray. No. So anyway, man. I think that's about it. I know you wanted to sign off and say a good memoriam for Michael K. Williams, right?
I definitely did, man. Like
That was crazy. It was a drug overdose, right?
drug overdose. Yeah, he was such an exceptional actor, man. I don't know if you guys seen The Wire.
Yeah, I've seen The Wire.
absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, he played that part like
Killed
no
it.
other, man. Omar,
Killed it.
man. And then for him to be a killer, like you said, and also to be a gay person.
Yeah, in the what was that? Love Country Road.
Well, that was in The Wire as well. He was gay.
In the water?
In The Wire, he was gay as well.
Oh, he was?
Uh-huh.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, he was. And also he played in Boardwalk Empire.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, he was Whitey?
Yeah.
Whitey in that, yeah.
And then you also know he was a backup dancer back in the day.
No, I did not know that.
That's how he began. That's how he got into the scene. He was a backup dancer.
Wow.
And then he got into a barroom fight. That's why he got slashed. That scar on his face.
Yeah.
So then he got to stop. Then he stopped getting picked up for backroom dancing. And then from that point on, he tried to act, and directors will want him because of his scar.
Wow.
To play a villain. So Tupac saw his picture, and said, "I got to have him in my next movie." So his first movie was with Tupac.
Wow.
Nice.
What movie? Above the Rim, maybe?
No, it wasn't Above the Rim. It was
Not Poetic Justice.
it was before Poetic Justice. I had this remember earlier.
Juice?
No, it wasn't Juice. Well, we'll get back to that. But as he's looking it up real fast. But he also had a scene. He also had a calling by Martin Scorsese.
Mm-hmm.
He actually called him in to do, and he asked him to do three emotions. To sit down and give me. There we go.
Okay. So that was after Poetic Justice.
Was it after?
Mm-hmm. That was
Okay.
that was the late movies that Tupac did before he passed. I think the last three. Mm-hmm.
And so Martin Scorsese watched him and said he's a great actor. That's what made him, really want to get into acting, like really hardcore.
Wow. He definitely had a sadness to him. You know what I mean? He had sadness in his eyes. He had he can play sad real good and angry.
In The Wire, he was actually like going to like crack houses, getting drunk and getting high, and he would be passed out and not know, who he was. He'll wake up and he gave his phone as collateral to get drugs, and then his people would be calling him trying to find out where he's at, and he can't even answer his phone because he don't have any money, and they would have his phone.
Was this for method acting? Is this for him to learn how to play the role?
No, he was addicted. No, he was.
Well, I didn't know, guys.
No,
I had no clue. I thought it was a method actor. I didn't
No,
know.
man,
I
he
didn't
had-
know.
That's
clue.
what made it funny.
Bro,
It was genuine. Like you weren't
no.
being funny. Like,
Yo, 'cause you were like the why he
genuine,
did-
and I think
oh,
I saw
yo.
your face, and I'm like, are you really asking
he
that?
had a real addiction, man.
No, I knew he had addiction,
He had
but I didn't know
real
if that was
demons.
the cause of the addiction. Like, hey, I got to play this crackhead on the wire or something that happens to be. I didn't know that, but
No, he was really messed messed up, man. And then like,
Yeah, I didn't know. I'm sorry, guys.
no, he just had demons, man. So
A lot of people do, man. I think we all have wrestled with demons and stuff like that, man. It's how we cope with it. Some of us, hey, it could be in an environment. You grew up, what, in inner city probably, or
he grew up in New York.
in New York, exactly. So, you have all that right down outside your front door, or in your hallways, or in your staircase. Jeff knows it's just how it is if you're in an apartment complex, man. It's not hard. The coping mechanisms that they have for addicts or people, are accept. They're convenient for that type of person as far as an addict in the inner cities. I don't know about now, but I know back in the days it was, because I know a lot of it's been gentrified. That gentrification's come in, so it's been more.
Bro, what's the last time you went to Brooklyn?
A long time ago.
It's been a while.
It's been last time I went to.
The Brooklyn you left is not the Brooklyn, especially that stretch where our grandmother used to live.
Yeah.
Where the Barclay station is.
Yeah.
Barclay Arena is now.
Yeah.
It's totally different now.
It is
Bohemian.
It's when you go out there and
Soho.
you remember what it used to look like, and then you see you drive down that strip now. It's like, wow.
Really?
That's all I can leave it at. It's
Wow.
like, well, I mean, some of the buildings and stuff is the same. There's definitely been some upgrades, but when you just kind of get a pulse for the people and what's going on out there, it just looks very different from, what we grew up seeing.
I believe
Very
it.
different.
Yeah, I believe it. But that's what I'm saying. So back then, yeah, it was easy to get your fix, to get your coping mechanism, medicine, whether it be alcohol or whether it be drugs. I mean, so I can understand why it was easy for him to.
But could you imagine, though, he's doing one of the best shows on cable TV.
Doesn't matter, man.
And at the same time, he's living on this couch of his sister, or.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's not making.
Think about
Because he's spending all his money, right?
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
the next night he's down in the crack house.
Think about
Cracked
some
out.
of these rappers that like their CDs was starting to blow up, but they were still out there selling weight because like even though you're doing something, you kind of it's like routine. You're conditioned to operate within the realm of what you know. You
That's
know
true.
what I'm saying? So
Yeah, that's true.
It's good to see that he was able to turn that around. Like, it's crazy because anytime I've seen him in anything, he brings an energy to the screen.
He's
that
good. He was a good actor.
There's no bypassing his presence. If he's sharing a screen with someone, his energy, his approach, he owned it in every role I've ever seen him in. He just had a very commanding presence. He definitely will be missed.
Yeah,
Absolutely. And yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, man. It's it's just one of those people you don't expect. You didn't expect. I mean, I didn't know his history. But you just didn't expect, because you're like, oh, dude, this dude was just on Love Country and he's in other stuff, and you're like, yeah, I just seen him on TV. And I think that's the thing that affects you the most when you see these people more as far as a successful actor, an actor you haven't seen in the limelight for a little bit. It's easier because you're like, okay, out of sight, out of mind. But someone that you're regularly seeing working as an actor, you're like, yo, he's successful. Whoa, then it kind of hits you almost like a relative in a sense, but not on that level. But obviously, because you feel like you've known the person I'm seeing all the time. I'm watching on TV. So, yeah, man. So, hey, rest in peace, Michael K. Williams.
Rest in power, brother.
Yeah, definitely Michael Kenneth Williams.
Yeah, and the other brother, too.
A.J. Johnson?
Smokey! Yeah. Rest in peace as well, man. And that's it, man. Like I said, you guys, this has been a good one. First one back, man. First one back. Hope you guys have missed us. I've missed you guys. Oh, yeah, you too, guys. Jeff and Ray. But I was talking to the people. Anyway, you guys have a wonderful, wonderful weekend.
Absolutely.
We'll see you guys on Monday.
And we love you.
All right.
Raymond loves you. Raymond loves you. Me, I'm just here.
That James Brown one more time.
No. That's
Nah,
Master P.
that was
Master
weird.
P right
Sounded
now.
Nah,
like
that was yo.
was Master P.
Did it not? Whoa. Nah, that was some next levels.
Next week.
That was him trying to pass a stone. Peace out, guys. Have a nice evening.